Okay, they said to get started here. I'm Carol Kapusinski from the Norton Church, and for all of you who are totally impressed with all the big projects that our churches are doing and but are overwhelmed by them, this is your presentation. This is a blessing bag. In it is non-perishable foods like Chef Boyardee, chips, oatmeal, candy, fruit, granola bars, and these are given to our Norton Public School children who are food insecure. It all started in 2011 when my mom sent me a newspaper clipping of a family I knew who were providing meal bags to needy children in the Mansfield City School System. They were affiliated with the organization called Blessings in a Backpack. This organization was started to provide weekend meal bags to children who often had little or nothing to eat outside of the free breakfasts and lunches they received at school. Teachers noticed that children were starving hungry on Monday mornings. It's hard to learn anything when hunger is an issue. These meal bags provide that bridge of food source between Friday's school lunch and Monday's school breakfast. After reading the article and talking with our church member, Cindy Weppel, who is also the president of our Norton Public School Board, she approached the administrators of the elementary schools and asked if such a service would be helpful in the Norton schools. It was very easy for the school teachers and administrators to identify children who were indeed food insecure. Thus, the Norton Church became affiliated with Blessings in a Backpack program, and they gave us the groundwork of how to get started, and they provided grocery bags. After a year or two, we disassociated ourselves with them as they were starting to require administration fees. Cindy and I would shop in a variety of grocery stores all over northeastern Ohio to get our best deals on various food items. Saving 5 cents on a big pack of pack of mac and cheese was a big deal. Then it was a daunting task, but the church provided all the funds. Then someone told us to check into working with our regional food bank. We applied in 2016 and found this to be a wonderful partnership. Their function is to provide food for the needy, and they were more than willing to work with us in the backpack program. We can get on their website, order all the food, and pick it up at their warehouse. One-stop shopping. Plus, most of what we order is without charge. Our youth group has been more than helpful in packing the bags assembly style. In just a half an hour, they can pack over 300 bags. Cindy delivers the blessing bags each week, and the schools distribute them to the children. At our peak, we were distributing 150 bags per week. Then, after COVID, for whatever reason, the numbers dropped significantly, and we're currently distributing 50 bags a week. We've had nothing but positive feedback from the schools. The children look forward to getting their bags, and teachers are happy that the vulnerable children have food for the weekends. At Christmas time, our youth group or Sunday school children pack gallon Ziploc baggies of hats, gloves, and various Jesus-focused Christmas gifts and goodies to be included with the food bags with an invitation to our church's Christmas festival. Isaiah 58, 6-7 says, "Is this not the kind of fasting I've chosen for you, to loose the chains of injustice, untie the cords of the yoke, to set the oppressed free? Is it not to share your food with the needy?" Have we seen a single conversion from this program? No, but we're fulfilling God's command to feed the hungry.
Hello, for those of you that don't know me, I'm Audrey Isak, not Ledbetter, as the schedule said, but this is my husband, Ed, behind me. And I am from the Richmond, Virginia congregation. I've never been to a foundation meeting before, so it's really interesting to come, and was really wowed by all of the presentations this morning and all of the ministries that we have. Mine is quite, like Carol said, I kind of feel a little intimidated, but I'm just going to share what we've been doing in our VBS. That's what I was asked to share about. So first, a little background about our church. I mean, you probably know Jimmy from our church. I'm sure you do. He's sitting back there. And so our church is a small church, and I mean by like 50 to 60 people that come. Jimmy probably has the exact number. We have about 22 kids, that's what I counted, and about 10 teens as well. And that's depends on, each Sunday. And for VBS, we have most of those, as well as about 12 to 16 visitors. So for us, that's a pretty good amount of percentage-wise of visitors. I would just raise of hands of how many of you are doing VBS this year in your church. So a lot of people. That's good. Good. And how many of you are volunteering and helping with VBS? Okay, a little less, but good. Okay. So I just wanted to share my experience with VBS. We've been doing it. I mean, of course, always did it as soon as I was baptized as a teenager, but I've been able to be a director of VBS probably over 10 years. Thankfully, I've had a little bit of a break. My sister's been doing it the last 2. And also doing music with them and teaching and other things like that. So before I started, though, with what I guess we've done in VBS in Richmond, I wanted to kind of back up and say, well, like, why should we have VBS? Like, it's something that's a choice that a church makes to do. So this is very quickly, I'm going to go through these because it does take a lot of money and effort and time. So first, of course, I think most importantly, it shares the gospel to kids and to their families as well. So yes, the kids are young, you're just planting a seed, but you're also ministering to the families that come. And it disciples the church and those who are participating and those who are volunteering. We're all learning the Word of God. And we make sure to choose deep materials when we look for materials, and we use that time to mentor our younger generation. The next thing, it fosters unity when we're serving and worshiping and also having fun together. And I think we have a common goal. It allows the teens to practice serving in church. So pretty much every VBS that I've encountered, it cuts off at 6th grade. But we have a lot of teens, and so we try to use our teens in everything. We have a class for them that's more of like apologetics and Christian living. And, if I'm director, I approve whoever is volunteer, but they do a lot of different things. They help with drama, crafts, music, games, skits, cleaning, food prep, classroom helpers, audio tech. And we also have them take on projects like they will do they make bag lunches for the homeless. They did that during the time that they were not in class. And we just feel really strongly that they're the future church and they need to get a taste of what it's like to belong to the church, even before they're a functional part of the church sometimes. Also, it encourages awareness and prayers and funding for local and global missions. In our church, our VBS always has a mission part. And depending on what we're using as the curriculum, sometimes they're short videos that are really age appropriate for the kids. They see like kids all over the world and what they're going through. And it's really, we will then collect funds towards whatever that mission is. But we've also tried to target particular AC missions as well. And, we're a small church, and we're not a wealthy church, but we try to pick one thing that we can do for that mission. And for example, we did playground equipment for one of the missions. And then it's really neat when we get to develop a relationship with that mission and we get to see pictures of them using it or whatever. It's a really neat opportunity to do that. And I would recommend that if somebody in the ministry could put together little videos like that we have at the larger, scale VBS curriculums, I think that would be a real blessing to do it at the kids level. It also develops the artistic and athletic and technical gifts and talents that I think sometimes are overlooked in the church. We have a lot of preaching and teaching and music and food, but we want to encourage people that all of the gifts that you have and the talents that you have can be used by God in whatever way. So we're able to do that through some of the activities at VBS. And then last, it energizes the church through memorable Bible teachings, apologetics, songs that stick in your head forever. But they're good songs, and you hear the kids singing them even a year later. People come to me, my kids are still singing these songs. And it's a time to memorize the scripture. And I mean, embarrassingly, a lot of our Christian adults don't have these Bible memorization. And it's just a week where we can get that done. So I wanted to go through a couple verses in the Bible. I have 3 and I have to turn back to see them. Okay, so 1 Timothy 3:14 through 15. In that verse, that talks about continuing in what you've learned and become convinced of, because because you know from those from whom you learned it, and how from infancy you've known the Holy Scriptures. So I think about how, we are obviously 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds. We are planting seeds, but there are layers and layers and layers that we're going to see the rewards from later. Proverbs 22:6, talking about training up a child in the way they should go, and when they're old, they're not departing from it. I think that speaks to just continuing to mentor even through the teen years and training them. And then the last scripture is Matthew 18:1 through 5, where Jesus asks, who's the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Jesus gives them a child and says, this is it. And whoever receives one in my name, it's like receiving me. And I think it's a humbling experience for everyone to participate in VBS, because you're doing the tritest stuff. It doesn't feel spiritual, but it is. And I think this is a good example of that. Okay. Okay, so where to start? Pray. That's where you should start. And ask your church to pray. And then secondly, find a VBS director that's organized and someone who has a vision for what would encourage your church. And then evaluate your resources. How many kids you have, how many volunteers would you have, that kind of stuff. Kind of simple. Sometimes you need to restart because you're stuck in a rut or you're burned out. That happened to me. And you need to train other people to be able to take over. And don't be afraid to try something new. I think for some churches it's hard because you just go with what you did the year before. And there might be people in church that resist new things. But just try one idea at a time, and be humble, and afterwards just ask and say, does anybody have any constructive criticism for next year, or things that they could want to share to make it better? And pray about where to spend your energy and resources. Okay, every VBS looks different, and that's okay. So I was just thinking about all the VBSs we'd done since maybe the 2000s or so. And here's some of the different ones we did depending on the season of life that we were in. We had a just preschool VBS one time, which was really nice to the moms. It was kind of a ministry to them too. We've had shorter VBSs on years where we just didn't think we could do it, so we did 3 days. And many years ago, my mom was in charge of giving a VBS for an urban community. We went down in downtown Richmond, and we went there and kind of gave a presentation. We connected with another community organization there in the neighborhood, and we did crafts and stories and games with them, and it was really well received. They really enjoyed it, and we really enjoyed it too, and we learned a lot. And sometimes we do extension of our VBS through the summer months. We'll do it in Sunday school. We've had, kind of strange, but we've done VBS at Christmas. It was kind of interesting that other people have tried that idea as well, and with Christmas content. And then sometimes we just break out of the traditional lessons, and we've done object lessons, nature lessons, Bible skits. The kids really love that. And so those are some of the things we've done. There's other things you can do too, like one day or a weekend, or VBSs at people's homes. So there's always a way to adapt for your situation and your church. Okay, so I was thinking about what the key for our success, I think has been, and you can adapt this for your church. These are just my reflections on what's worked for us. You ready for that? Okay, the first one is to see your church leaders as advocates and not opposition. I know some churches have challenges starting VBS or modifying their VBS. So first, share with your leadership how important it is to do and why, and then involve them in VBS, even your elder. Involve them, even if it's just to welcome everybody. My dad does that. He's really good at that, in getting to know the families as they come, as they leave. A lot of our ministers are in it, doing preaching and teaching and helping with snacks or whatever. They're not above it. That's not how serving works, right? So I think when your leadership can see it when they're there and not just hearing about it, I think they'll become advocates because they see how hard everyone in your church is working and they see the impact of what you're doing. So I'd advise that. Number 2, we've done an evening VBS. We've had morning VBS, but honestly, we were too small to run it with just homeschool and working at home. It's just, we couldn't work it that way. So we also have done evening VBS. We found a lot of value in adding more men to our gatherings. The kids respond well to the men. Sometimes we have people that don't have fathers in the home, and I think it's male mentorship is really neat. And also, it just allows us all to come and serve together as a family, all of us, to do that. Also, when we're doing it in the evening, we meet more families. Like when we did it in the morning, it was just kind of, we never saw the parents. But when we've done it in the evening, we oftentimes will see the parents dropping them off or coming to pick them up. It's a different atmosphere. We usually start at 6, we end at 8:30. Our families, we've even been able to serve a simple supper to the volunteers and kids before VBS. We hold teen classes. As I said, they're still in there. If possible, we'd love to do adult classes as well. And sometimes we're able to split them by gender and do a little bit different than what we do during youth group and during like Sunday school. It's a different atmosphere. Okay, getting lost here. Second page. Oh, wait, no, go back. There we go. We try to be open to adding creative things like skits, outside and inside games, science demonstrations, using media. All of these fun activities solidify the Bible messaging each day. They all have the same message for each day. So obviously you're going to do different things depending on your church, but I think you can adapt them to fit what you want to do. Second page. We try to involve our church, everyone in our church, as much as possible. Anybody who's willing will be there. And working on something enjoyable together and fun together, that prepares you for the time when, honestly, there are going to be times when you don't see eye to eye with somebody. But if you have those relationships, the fun times that you spend together, it strengthens you for the whole church life together. We also create a space for our volunteers to fellowship when not serving and have food. It's a simple thing, but you can see it in the background there, kind of like the kids, and then we have some adults milling. Whenever someone's not doing something, they kind of wander back and they're chatting. Sometimes it's the parents too that wander in, and we're able to be refreshed in fellowship while we're doing it, not just separated. And at the end of VBS, we always hold a celebratory picnic. We hold a picnic because we like picnics. And also we feel it's less intimidating for people that aren't really churched, aren't used to going to church. So we do a favorite game for the kids. We let the kids play, the adults socialize, everyone brings something. And we try hard not to treat people that come as outsiders. You expect them to bring things to communicate with them just like we would with people at our church. We do have a musical program in the church, so they get a taste of what our church is like as well. And last of all, we try to have a couple other events through the year that are low pressure as well and invite those same people as well, like our fish fry dinner and our harvest party. And that's another event. Yeah, Jimmy loves the fish fry. Try to catch the fish for that. It's hard. So we try to keep inviting those. And actually one of our families that comes now first came through VBS. Saw them there through VBS, and they eventually joined our church. So events that aren't church but involve our church family let the world and those searching for a church family see that your church loves each other even outside of church, and they're genuine all the time and they're Christ following. And so I think that's our goal, to draw others to Christ through our testimony and our witness. So just to conclude, I just say Vacation Bible School. Let's see, the church that prays, learns, fellowships, and serves together will also grow together. So just don't forget about that tool that you have as VBS. That's it. Thank you.
Any questions?
Oh, sure. I think part of the idea of keeping it different is question is, do we make our own curriculum or repeat it? We've done both. That's the short answer. Lately, we've been using a lot of Answers in Genesis. I just find that theirs is the most Bible-oriented. We've used Lifeways as well. Those two have been really really solid Bible teachings. So, but we do always have to adapt it. Can't just take it the way it is. So. Oh, sorry. Okay. Yes. Carol. Yeah.
And that were FTWs, not from our church.
Yeah.
And how did you come to the church? And the majority of them came through VBS. So it is a powerful ministry.
Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Yeah, I would like to just echo that. I know VBS is a huge thing that we do at our church, and we really sell it as much as we can, and kids love it and come back. And it's like when you have the kids, you have the possibility of the parents too. And
Yes.
you should not feel intimidated because watching your presentation is music to my ears, and you did a great job. And
Yes.
see it in your passion.
Thank you. Yeah, we've been able to get some materials from you guys sometimes, and that's another thing. Yeah. Just even though you have a small church, a lot of times you can connect with others on Facebook, and they'll give you a lot of the materials because it can be very expensive. For our church it is, so it's nice to get that. Yeah.
Sometimes the theme that we do this year, someone's going to do in 2 years.
Yeah.
And that points to that band app that I was talking about, and the
Yeah.
communication that we need with one another. Because why go out and buy all this stuff or spend time and effort and energy if you have it in Ohio or you have it in Arizona? Like communication.
Yeah. Yep. I got that on my phone now. So thanks. All right. Thank you. Is that it? I'm going to go over this one more time. Okay. Yes.
One quick question.
Uh-huh.
So with the teams, you have them volunteer, but then also have a team class.
Yes. Yes, that's scheduling. That's one of the reasons why we divided it by male and female, because then the girls did their class and then the boys were volunteering and vice versa. That was one of the benefits of doing it that way. I mean, I would say my son's 20. He'll be in Japan this summer, but he would probably go if he wasn't. So it's from like 13 to whenever they feel like they want to stop coming, but usually around 19, 20. No, at this time it's just the volunteers, and those are church people. The community is mostly the children, the younger ones. Yeah, well, actually, that's not entirely true. We've had a couple teens that were not from church families. Yeah. Yes, they do. They do a lot of things. They do like crafts and yes, as long as I know them. I mean, we're small enough that it's like if I know them personally, I know their parents and all that. That's good for me. Oh, okay. She just said if I know if it was just the members that did it, right? Or just the teens that not. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they were just one or two people and I knew their parents well and that they were, trustworthy. So, yeah. Any other questions?
One thing that I